We are now ready to start the second half of the season, and the first thing we'll look at, the most important thing, the standings. In the National League East, the Braves will be starting with a 7-game lead. The Mets are 11 back and 3 games under 500. You can see winners of 4 of their last 10. So they have won 2 in a row, but they're really not trending in the right direction. The Nats, 37 to 53, 17 and a half back. The Marlins in last, 19 and a half. So the Phillies still within striking distance. But you can see over the last 10 games, they lost 3 games. Got to make some of that ground up. In the Central, St. Louis, sizable lead, 15-game lead over the Cubs. They also are over 500, though a bit back. The Pirates, 6 games under 500, 7 games behind the Cubs, 22 back overall. Milwaukee right behind them. They did hit 500, and you see they're in a little bit of a tailspin right now. Losers of 5 in a row. 2 of their last 10 games have been wins. Reds in the last 27 back. In the West, the Padres lead. The Dodgers 8 back. D-backs 11 back. So the D-backs had that hot start, but have slowly started to simmer down. The Giants 43 and 48. 5 games under 500, 16 back. The Rockies 40 and 51. The wild card, Dodgers have the top spot. Cubs right behind them. D-backs behind them, tied with the Phillies. So 2 teams tied for that third spot. You know, I'm really a stickler on 5 games back and really not trying to go too far past that. You see the Mets 4 back, Giants 5 back, Pirates 5.5. So a lot of teams with work to do. Also of note, the Padres 59 and 32, Cardinals 64 and 26. So San Diego is 5.5 back of St. Louis. Bigger lead, 9.5 ahead of the Braves. But San Diego is lurking, and we have yet to play them this season, so that could play a factor into how things finish out. In the American League, the Rays have played themselves back in, though they've lost 2 in a row. The Yankees lead the division right now. Blue Jays 1 back. Rays 4 back. Red Sox 14, and the Orioles still struggling. They are 21 games back. In the Central, the Guardians 51 and 39. They lead the way. Twins 2.5 back. White Sox, we kind of helped them out a little, not the intent, but they are 3 back. Tigers 11 back, lose to 5 in a row, so they keep getting around 500 but can't seem to get over the hump. Now they have dipped a bit below. And the Royals 31 to 60, battling for that first spot in the draft. In the American League West, the Rangers still leading the way, and over the last week they have definitely made up some ground, or at least distanced themselves from the Angels. 3-game losing streak for Anaheim, 4-game winning streak for Texas. Overall, of the last 10, that's +3. Thus, that lead is at 8 games. The Astros, same record, right behind, or tied with the Angels, but coming up, sneaking, trying to, on the Rangers, 3 games above 500, also 8 back. Mariners 20 back. The A's, the worst record in baseball, the only team to not have 30 wins. Ouch. For the wild card, Blue Jays hold the top spot, Rays hold the second, the Twins the third. The White Sox are right behind them, just a half game back. The Angels and Stros 2 back, and really that's the only competition for these spots. Just 3 teams hovering. Red Sox and Tigers are 8, 8.5 back respectively. They have a lot of work to do. Usually at this point in the season, I like to take a break and take a look at everything going on around the league. Statistically, we will focus just on St. Louis. How do we get here, and what do we need to do to get to where we're going? So since we switched to Legend, the batting average has definitely taken a decline. Strikeouts have been up, hits have been down. Probably a surprise to no one. I'm not the greatest player of the game, but I'm doing the best I can. We right now are batting 27th, so we are pretty awful, I'm not gonna lie. But what is helping us, runs. When we put them up in bunches. So we're tied for 9th, 10th place right now, 392. That is not terrible. You have some big run producers. Like to see Carp get a few more at bats. We've taken him out a lot against lefties. Maybe the move will be to leave him in a bit more to see how things are going. Hits, again, 27th. Not great at all. Looking to improve with that. Home runs, 7. Again, we don't get a ton of hits, but a lot of them have been extra base. That helps a lot. Arenado and Carp both over 20. Contreras, who I have definitely struggled with to this point in the season, still third on the team with 15 home runs. He doesn't hit the ball well, but when he does, he hits it hard. We'll take that. Stolen bases, we are dead last. That's no surprise. Edmund has 20 of our 30, so just collectively, we just don't run much. We don't have a ton of speed. And when you're not getting hits, you don't want to run yourself out of innings either. But Edmund has picked it up a lot. A big chunk of stolen bases over the last couple of weeks, so hoping that maybe that'll trend and continue to turn in the right direction. Base on balls, shocker. Run last. Well, guess what? If you're striking out a lot, that means you're having to swing out a lot of bad pitches, trying to keep from striking out. So it's not like this at the beginning of the season, but that's okay. Ks, K'd the most. Again, no surprise. Not a lot of walks, a lot of strikeouts. And I will say a lot of those are still trying to, get up in the count 2-1, 3-1, and trying to be patient in the strike zone. From a pitching perspective, well, let's look at OBP. We're 28th. That's definitely got to improve. If that continues to dip, we're going to struggle. We got to get that over 300 and 300 pronto. Fielding percentage first. That helps. Errors also first. We had 2 errors in our last regular season game. Collectively, been pretty good overall, and we like to keep it that way. ERA first. This is the main reason why we are winning the amount of games we are. Even when we hit well, we pitch well, and when we don't hit well, we pitch better. So the best ERA in baseball, you see Jordan is a sub-2, not sub-3, sub-2, and Miles is not far from it himself. Bullpen has been pretty masterful, minus Dakota Hudson. We'll get to him a little bit later in this video. Complete games, not a lot. Take these shutouts though. Combined 11 between the two teams, or between the teams, the staff. Saves were first. Obviously, Helsley has been extremely reliable. There's a couple of hiccups here and there, but he's been extremely reliable this season. We'll take it. Blown saves. Well, we're tied for 11th, along with a lot of other teams. Helsley, though, only 2. I'll take that. Hits allowed third, fewest. Runs allowed first. Earned runs first. Home runs first. Base on balls first. Ks. Somewhere floating around the middle of the pack, I believe. We're 12th. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. So, team-wise, that's what we're doing. Let's look at the players individually. It's been a weird season. A lot of snowing here in St. Louis. It is snowing here in Colorado, but see, the bats are ice cold. That's not a good thing. So let's look at some stuff. Hits. Arenado closing in on hit number 100 of the year. Home runs, we have 5 players in double digits. Contreras, Newbar, and O'Neill being the other 2. We mentioned Carp and Arenado earlier. Goldie with 8, and the funny thing is he started out hot, and then he has significantly cooled down since we switched to Legend. Runs batted in. Arenado, close to 50. Carp, 43, and then O'Neill and Newbar both with 40. Stolen bases, obvious. We don't run a lot, and we don't have a lot of people, to be truthful, that can run, speed-wise. Got to get great timing. O'Neill with 8, speedster. Carlson with 1, solid speed, decent speed. And then, of course, Edmund, probably our best guy, 20. Average, this is a little depressing. Donovan has flirted with 300 most of the season, so that's been good. Arenado dipped a little when we went to Legend, but has picked it up. Same with Cart. Myers started out hot and has cooled off. You see a lot of 230s, or a lot of, not 230s, a lot of sub 250s here. Myers started out really well and has cooled off. Newbar 2. Gorman has a reason why we've kind of put Donovan in. You have the power with Gorman. You can see the 7 home runs. Donovan only with 1, but you just have to try to make stuff happen. And then Carlson, this is the disappointing one, 229. I don't really have anyone I feel comfortable putting in the leadoff spot, but Edmund, not getting the job done. He is not getting the job done. Though he's a bit lower in batting average, he's fifth in OBP, still needed to be better. OPS, obviously a big stat for a lot of people. Stat nerds like myself, two guys over 800, Arenado and Carp. Three guys over 700, Myers. A lot of home runs, or at least chunks of extra base hits. O'Neill doesn't hit a lot, but when he does, he hits it hard. Newbar, 787. Yeah, that hot streak for a bit and is cooled off. Strikeouts. Hey, guess what? O'Neill leads the team in strikeouts. Shocker. Is what it is. Carp is in second. Contreras in third. Doubles. Lots of them. Lots of guys with extra or double digits. Triples. Goldie with 5. Interesting. Other things that have caught my eye. Looking at the WAR, Carp is 2.2. Love to see it. Newbar and O'Neill 1.9. As bad as Contreras is batting, still 1.8. Honestly, at this point in the season, I'll take it. These numbers have to go down though. Herrera, oof. 3 guys over 33% K percentage. Couple of guys, and then another group above 25%. So we like to try to get that number down as much as possible. Make life easy on yourself. That would be the goal. Doesn't always work that way. Last thought I want to look at would be average with runners in scoring position. Myers and Donovan have been fantastic. Donovan's not a surprise, batting 300 basically. He's just hitting more because he's getting better pitches to hit. Edman, not great without, but with runners on, 390. So that means, hey, bottom of the lineup gets the job done. Also, Newbar batting over 300. No big, huge, significant jumps like you'd be hoping for, but at the end of the day, this team gets the job done enough. That's why we have the division lead. That's why we lead the National League. Will we keep it that way? Well, that's a whole nother story. Looking at the rest of July for St. Louis, have a 3-game series against Washington, so you'll get Strasburg and Gray. 3 fun matchups there. Stay at home to play Miami, so maybe this time we'll get Sandy, but for sure, we'll see if we can do the same thing we did in Miami. We took 3 out of 4 there. Maybe we can take 2 out of 3 at home. Then the big series. 4 at Wrigley, which we are winless on the season. 3 against the D-backs on the road. And then come home and face the Cubs for 4 before a day off. So no days off. We're going to run the rest of the month. 18 games in 18 days, or 17 games in 18 days. Ending with 8 of our final 11 games against the Cubs. They will have an opportunity to try to shave off some of this division lead. Hopefully we can grow it, if anything, because remember, we're not only trying to win the division, we're trying to stay ahead of the Padres for the best record in the National League. And the last thing we're going to take a look at, trades. Couple of interesting ones that had caught my eye going into the All-Star break. The first one, the big one, the Mets and the Cubs, not just. So the Cubs need a little extra boost with the starting pitching. You bring back Quintana. In exchange, you give up Ian Happ. I always call Ian Happ the Sammy killer because he hits me very well, regardless of left-handed bat, right-handed bat. It does not matter. He kills from both sides of the plate, and now him going to the Mets. Mets are trying to make a push to make the playoffs. This is already going to be a dangerous team just in terms of the lineup they have and the talent. Adding a bat like Happ definitely makes them tougher. They're top-heavy with their pitching anyway. Happ, the luxury of being able to bat him lower in the lineup, knowing the type of bat he has, is a huge plus for them, which is probably going to push the Mets over the top for a playoff spot. Definitely concerned about that one. Another trade that I'm concerned about, the Dodgers. Definitely caught my eye. Bobby Witt Jr. for Bobby Miller and Johnny. Bobby Miller will be a future star, we hope, in this franchise, but Bobby Witt is a guy right now. The Dodgers already have a top-heavy lineup. They have an extremely talented bats, and again, just like with the Mets, you're getting the luxury of adding in a guy who can hit well, that does not have to hit in pressure spots in the lineup. He was producing with Kansas City with less around him. Now he's going to fit in a bottom part of the lineup, or even maybe batting near the top of the lineup. with heavy bats behind him, less stressful situation. He's going to get to see better pitches. This is definitely a good move for the Dodgers. Again, another move that made me cringe because I know what is likely to come. We're not done with trades though. Nick Senzel acquired by the Astros. This is a little bit different because the Astros already have a really good team, but you're bringing in a prospect slash MLB player that can provide something for you now. And again, he is not as good as Bobby. He's also not as good as Ian, but with proper cooking, he could be a proven bat for or prove to be a good bat for the Astros. They don't need him now, but this will help them in the long run, doing good stuff. And then lastly, one that really caught my eye, is like, huh? The Phillies trading for Cedric Mullins. You know he has a great swing on this game. This again is another big bat going to the NL East that is capable of doing a lot. And he's also going to play at a hitter's park. So you got Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Reese. All these guys that are proven hitters that can produce runs, and you're putting Cedric Mullins in the middle. Again, the Braves have been doing really well in this division. The Phillies and Mets are definitely a ways back, but at making moves like this really, really can help them steal some games and get themselves right back in the hunt. If nothing else, this is a dangerous bat that makes this team even more dangerous once they get to the playoffs. Pretty sure the Phillies will be getting there. Mullins may be someone that pushes them over the top as they aim to reach a World Series.